Hello, friends. The Epiphanios here, minus one, my wife Marjorie. We had a fun day today. She took out the Corvette, and we went to South Carolina and took the back roads. Drove pretty fast and a few times. We saw some cops and had to slow down, but we had a great ride today. And we came back, and we decided, as we do every day in quarantine, what are we going to eat? We typically wake up and say, what are we going to eat? So today we're going to have hot dogs, actually, which you typically don't eat. We try to eat healthy, but then Marge was reading a magazine and she saw this picture of a rice bowl. Everybody knows about these rice bowls, right? Everybody has these grain bowls where they add all these different ingredients with farro or quinoa, and they add avocados and tofu and all these interesting ingredients, right? And they create a kind of a hot salad. So we've been doing that for a while. So today, I'm going to teach you about my Sushi Grain Bowl. And this is inspired by our favorite restaurant, specifically for this dish. It's a sushi bowl that they make, and it's fantastic. So it's a rice base. So it's a jasmine rice or basmati rice that's seasoned with some rice vinegar. And then it has some lettuces on top, and then all sorts of beautiful toppings. Shrimp, seared tuna, and then a fantastic sriracha sesame dressing, and fresh radishes, and all those things. So I've tried to duplicate this, and I think I've succeeded. I think mine's really good. I'm going to teach you from start to finish now. And of course, my beautiful wife is not here because she hasn't had a manicure or a pedicure in about 6 weeks. So I guess she pointed out today the nail bed was growing, and then this kind of like recession or an area where it wasn't painted. So I guess that means that the manicure was growing out. I don't know. I bite my nails, unfortunately, but in any event, she had to do something. So she's upstairs now doing a pedicure and a manicure on her own. And there's a paraffin mixture. It's something we bought on Amazon years ago. It's basically something that you melt this wax. Tip your hands, your feet in it, softens everything up. So she's up there now. I don't know if she knows I'm doing this, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it from start to finish. So you guys kind of know how to do it. And also, I kind of love doing this. I've got all this time on my hands, quasi-retired, looking for my next gig. And, I've always loved food, been in the restaurant business for many years, but been out of it for many years. This is more fun for me. Probably will be doing something along the lines of food sometime in the future. And been eating healthy, really healthy for the past couple of years. Lost 60 pounds, been working out. No diet, just eating good, natural, healthy food in proper proportion, right? So everything we typically do now is just good food, fresh food, prepared well. And that's the key. So I'm going to get started with the sushi bowl. Now for the introduction. I've got my induction cooker here, and I'm going to put this baby on, okay, which is basically my little portable cooktop. And here's a tuna steak. Okay, so I want to make my sushi bowl with, the tuna steak. That's going to go first. And then I have this farro, not the farro from the Bible, but it's a grain. It's a Middle Eastern grain. It's actually an Italian delicacy. It's a grain that's heavily used in Italy. And this is a 10-minute farro from Trader Joe's. Now, I'm not a spokesperson for Trader Joe's, but we do shop there a lot because we like their products. And, everything they have is really well vetted. And this is a really good product. It takes 10 minutes to cook. This will be our base for our sushi bowl. And then we're going to build from here. So here's the farro. The other thing, I'm going to be talking a lot. And I don't use recipes because everything I have is in my head. But now that I'm trying to teach people, I'm trying to document what I'm doing. But I always make my own fresh chicken stock. I typically don't try to buy, although we do use it in a pinch. There's nothing better than fresh chicken stock. It's so easy to make. So get a pen or a pencil and a pad and write this down. 1 whole chicken, 5 or 6 celery stalks chopped up, 1 whole onion. Okay, put the whole chicken in there, 3-pounder. And then the key to making stock is you always fill your pot up 2 inches beyond the chicken. So you put your chicken in, fill the water up 2 inches past the chicken. Okay, turn it on. Put an onion in there, quartered. 5 or 6 stalks, chopped, about that big. A couple of garlic cloves, and 6 carrots. Then I put bay leaves, salt and pepper. I always add a little bit of white wine, not much, and let that cook and reduce. Okay, and typically, it takes about, a couple hours. I add bay leaves as well, and then sometimes I'll add a little bit of tarragon if I have it fresh. I've done a little bit of dry tarragon if you like that flavor, and let that cook. Let it reduce. As soon as it reduces about 1 inch past the chicken, take the chicken out. Use that for something else. We typically make chicken salad with it, or we'll use that for a chicken soup. And then we strain it, and this is our soup. Organic, healthy, bone, whatever you want to call it, but it's fantastic. That's that. So this is heating up now, my pan on my induction cooker. And I'm going to add my, I'm going to use a little olive oil in this, and a little bit of canola oil, which is somewhere. Here it is. Over here. Put that in my pan. So everybody's had that sesame-crusted tuna. Okay, how do you do the sesame-crusted tuna? Very simple. You take a great piece of sashimi-grade tuna that I dried off. Paper towel. I have some white sesame seeds. I pour that over the top. And then I love this bagel seasoning. Again, I think we've got this at Aldi, but Harris Teeter and well, you're not going to know that if you're from up north, but Trader Joe's has this, and this has other things in it other than sesame seeds, but it has a variety of things. Typically, what you put on an everything bagel. I put this on my tuna. So you just let that kind of sit there for a minute, pat it, okay, down till you have a crust. Okay, a crust of sesame seeds on top of your tuna. See that? So the key here is you don't want to overcook this. You want it rare in the middle because, tuna steak, especially this, has very little fat. And if you overcook it, it's going to dry out. And if it's a sashimi grade, which is basically sushi grade, you can eat it raw, then you don't want to overcook it. You just want to create a little crust on the outside. So I've got my oil heating up. I'm going to add my tuna to that now. Okay, get a little bit more oil. I'm going to turn this baby up to high because I want it to really sear. Okay. So I'm getting that hot now. And as I'm getting that hot, I'm going to start making my farro. Okay. So here's a scallion. What we call it in the South a spring onion. This is what you get when you grow something organically and fresh from the farm. Look at that bad boy. Okay. The other thing I'm going to be adding to this, I'm going to be talking as we're going. These are pickled beets that I made myself. I'm going to give you a little trick here. Look at these beets. It's like $5 for these beets. Have you ever seen anything like it? Grown naturally in our farms here in North Carolina? Okay. You take this beet, cut the end off, cut the top off. Save the tops because you're going to clean those and saute them with garlic, add a little vinegar and oil, and you saute. It's unbelievable, right? But this beet, the way you make it is you cut it, clean it, pierce it with a fork, wrap it in tin foil, put it in the oven at 375 for an hour and a half to 2 hours till it's soft. Okay, once it's soft, you pull it out and you pull the skin off. You've got a beautiful beet. which is one of the superfoods, right? Which everybody talks about superfoods, but everything that God makes is a superfood because it comes from the ground. It's made so that it can, give you the vitality that you need. But beets are great, and it's an untapped vegetable. All right, so I'm searing my tuna steak. I just turned it, and you're going to see when you cook your tuna steak, you want to look on the outside and look to see where it's actually starting to turn a little bit gray. You don't want it to be fully gray. You just want it to be about 1/8 of an inch on either side after you turn it, and then you want to pull it off, and you're done. We'll put that on the side. And once we're done with the tuna steak, I'm going to put my farro in there, okay, which I'm going to saute with this beautiful spring onion. It's a lot here, so I'm going to just cut half of it. I don't typically use the tops, and the reason why is not yet. I'm going to put them in later. You want these later in your dish because if you cook them too much, they dry out, they look terrible. You want a little bit of crunchiness in your salad, in your dishes. So I always save the green tops for later, okay, which I'm going to put here. I'm going to use the white part and some of the green, not much, for the salad itself when I make the dressing. So I'm going to slice my beautiful spring onion, okay? I've got my tuna steak. I'm going to mix it around, and I'm done. That's it. And here it is. That's what it looks like. See that? A little bit of gray on top and the bottom, and then raw in the middle, or rare in the middle. That's what you want. That's going to go here. Okay. Now, same pan. I'm going to add my chopped scallion. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit of sesame oil because we want that flavor of the Orient, right? Because we're doing an Asian spin on this dish. And I'm looking for my sesame oil. Can't find it. I will find it eventually. And then once I have that in there, sauteing, I'm going to add a little bit of garlic and chop that up, as you can see. Chopping that bad boy up. I'm going to add a little bit more of the onion, which is the scallion. This is the spring onion, which is basically a scallion on steroids when you grow it naturally and not commercially. Okay, we're mixing that up. See that? That's my flavor, right? Okay, and I typically always cook with fresh ingredients. I don't use anything out of a can unless it's tomatoes or maybe corn once in a while, or peas once in a while, just to add, a little bit of interest. But I always use fresh ingredients. Now, here's a time saver. Organic ginger. So instead of buying fresh ginger, this is organic ginger that's already been ground. And that's going to be added to this. So I'm going to just take a squeeze of this. Let me open it up and take the top off. I typically use fresh ginger, but I didn't have any time for fresh ginger, and plus because of the, whole virus thing and the pandemic, and it's tough to get fresh ginger. So that's going in there. Okay. Here's my farro from Trader Joe's. I'm going to cut that sucker open. I'm going to add about half a bag because it's only the two of us. I'm going to add that to my dish. Okay, now, look at that. Saute that. Mix her up. I've got my Pellegrino water here with fresh lime juice. I'm always drinking something when I'm cooking. Usually wine at night, Pellegrino in the afternoon. So now I'm just going to toast the farro, okay? And we'll kind of see how that goes. It doesn't take long, about 10 minutes. So now that's cooking and toasting and getting all flavorful, right? I'm going to add a little bit of soy to that. You hear that? This is all, you know, kind of down and dirty with a MacBook Pro that I bought in 2013. I'm using to film this. Okay. Ponzu, a great little dressing or sauce. It's got citrus in it. Not as strong as a soy, and not as much salt. But I'm adding that. Okay. All right, see that? Okay. Now I'm going to add my chicken stock and let that cook. So again, there's no measurements here. You know, look at the bag, see how much you're cooking, and follow their instructions. But the key is flavor. Okay, always flavor. Layer it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's my pepper mill. Always add some type of wine to my dishes. Okay, because wine has a lot of complexity to it. It has some sugar. It has acid, but it also has the benefit of combining all of that together. So you have also the yeast, and it just brings out a whole different flavor profile with anything you're cooking. It just enhances it, right? Because the key to cooking is you want acid, you want salt, you want sweet. You want to kind of hit all the areas. So I add a little bit of that, okay? The other thing is when you're making sushi rice, you always add rice wine vinegar, and I want that flavor profile in my dish, so I'm going to add some rice wine vinegar to my dish. Okay? Let that just a little bit, okay? Because I added some soy and some ponzu, I'm not going to add salt now, but I am going to cover this baby and let it just kind of reduce. So I've got my spring onions or scallions, all my flavorings. I'm going to lower that. Okay? Come on, baby. Get low. How low can you go? There we go. All right. So that's that. Now, I want to teach you how to make this dressing, which is awesome. This is going to go on top of our dish. So let's start right now. My bowl here. Okay? Sorry, move off frame. All right, listen. A lot of times I make my own mayonnaise. When I'm making a dressing, there's no point in making my own mayonnaise. Hellmann's, for me, is the best. In the South, they like Duke's. I don't like it, but, you know, to each his own. 1, 2. That's 2 tablespoons, roughly, right? I don't know. I'm going to put one more. Again, I don't measure, and I just kind of go by feel, but I do kind of keep an idea in my head what I like in my measurements. So, sriracha. Everybody knows what sriracha is, right? I'm going to add that. 1, 2, 3. 3 squeezes. Now, I'm going to make it a little bit less spicy because my beautiful wife doesn't like it spicy. Ponzu. She loves ponzu. I'm adding that. Okay? So that's like 4 or 5 sprinkles, 6, 7. Okay? And then I have this beautiful dipping sauce. It's called Geyser, or Geyser, whatever. But I've used this. And I marinate my shrimp in this, or salmon, or chicken, and I grill it. This is fantastic stuff. Trader Joe's, again, not being paid, but maybe I should. Okay? But I always add this to mine. Dressing. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then some chili sauce. Let me shake this up. Let's get it mixed around. All right. A little more soy. And that ginger. Where's that ginger that I had before? I'm going to add that ginger, that fresh ginger that was in that little squeeze bottle. So I'm mixing that baby up. Now, typically, I would use a whisk. I don't have my whisk here because my trusty assistant isn't here, but I'm going to whip that up, okay? Fresh cracked pepper. I'm also going to take, look at my farro, that's still cooking. I'm going to take a some scallion tops. Okay, I'm going to dice it up and add that to it. Yeah, beautiful. I'm going to leave the camera and just go over there and get my whisk. Stay tuned. Here we go. I got a bigger spoon, not a whisk, but that's... Now, don't follow a recipe verbatim. Follow the recipe and then taste it. I use a finger. Not politically correct today, but I'm home. I'm quarantined. And I don't think we're in a police state yet, but... So I just tasted that, and it tastes really good, okay? It's a little spicy, and Marge doesn't like that. So I'm going to add a little bit of my chicken stock to that to thin it out. That's a restaurant trick. And then I'm going to add some acid. I want a little bit more acid. I'm going to take my rice wine vinegar and add that. Okay? There we go. Oh, here's my ginger. 1, 2 squirts of that, baby. Mix that up. Here's what you want. Here's the color. You want it to be a creamy dressing. That's beautiful. I know it tastes great. But I tasted it. So I'm going to put that to the side. That's ready to go. That's going to be topped. Okay, now, the farro's cooking. It's supposed to be 10 minutes. Hard as a rock. Not 10 minutes. Look, that's what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to let that cook a little bit more. I'm going to add a little more stock as I'm watching it. Look at that. Put a cover on that. All right. So next we got to build. We got to build, right? So our first layer is going to be the rice, and then our lettuces, and then our shrimp, and our seared tuna, which is here. Let me get the shrimp. Show you that. This is jumbo shrimp. Okay. So this jumbo shrimp, I marinated in my chimichurri sauce. Okay, which is basically like a pesto from Spain. 1 bunch of cilantro, half a bunch of Italian parsley, not that curly parsley, okay? Olive oil, red wine vinegar, salt, pepper, oregano. Oregano, dry oregano is the key. So oregano, salt and pepper, a little bit of lime juice. Puree that in a food processor, and you got this beautiful Spanish pesto, right? Chimichurri. Put that on steak and everything. I marinate my shrimp in that. To that chimichurri, I added soy sauce, a little bit of sesame oil. Okay, I'm going to take this shrimp and roast it in my convection oven at 450. If you don't have a convection oven, broil it at high for, I don't know, these are jumbo shrimp. I'd say about 5 minutes. The key to shrimp, don't overcook it. Best to pull it out sooner than later. I'm going to put this in the oven now. And so the chimichurri recipe and all of that, one day I'm going to post it, but you kind of have the gist of it. That's going in the oven. And then next, when you build the sushi bowl, you're going to have the farro that's cooking now. And you want that to be warm, not necessarily hot on the bottom. And then my beautiful wife made this incredible coleslaw yesterday, okay, which is a vinegar-based, grated red cabbage, white cabbage, fresh corn, some red onion, cilantro, salt, pepper, vinegar, a little bit of, I should put a little bit of oil, right? That's it. Let that marinate overnight. That's going to be one of our components to our dishes. So we're going to add that. But traditionally, when you're making a sushi bowl, you're going to have the sushi rice. In my case, it's going to be farro. Lettuces, okay, in this case, again, butter lettuce, which is a beautiful tender leaf from Trader Joe's and our organic arugula. or baby wild arugula, which I like this, the wild one. I'm going to take this and just toss it lightly with canola oil, a little bit of sesame oil, and some rice wine vinegar, salt, and pepper. That's it. And that'll be my layer that goes on top of the rice, and you'll see that later. We've got the farro cooking, and the bag says 10-12 minutes. I don't believe it, but we're getting there. It's actually getting there pretty good. Flavor's great. And as you're cooking, always check flavor. I use my finger. Again, I'm eating it. There's nobody else here. I'm quarantined with my wife, so I don't care, about cross-contamination. If I was in a restaurant or if I was feeding somebody and I had guests over, I would take a spoon and then taste it, right? So, that's that. Next, these are my beautiful heirloom tomatoes, okay? That typically what I would do with these is I would quickly saute them in a little bit of garlic, some ginger, and some fresh limes, okay, to give it a little bit of interest. Now, I may do that, I may not, for the sake of time right now, but that's what I typically would do. But if not, you could just slice them and put them on as they are, with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, sprinkle a little bit of lime juice or lemon juice and a little bit of olive oil or canola oil over them to, give them some interest. And then avocados, which is a beautiful texture for our sushi bowl. So, I don't know if you guys know the technique, right? You take the avocado, here's the pit. These are small ones. You just take your knife, stab it, and then twist it, and it comes out, right? Now, in this case, they're so small, you don't need that. It just pulls out, okay? And then, the trick is you take a tablespoon or a teaspoon, depending on how big your avocados, and just kind of push it around the skin, and you pull it out. Okay? That's it. Now, that's going to go, put that next to my tuna steak. Throw that out. Pull this one out. And avocados, again, are just an amazing food. It's high fat, for sure, but it's got so much nutritional value. And I would eat an avocado every day. Of course, I was exercising and all that, but fat is good for you. The good fat, not the fried stuff that you're getting, at these fast food places. But these good fats: olive oil, avocados, seeds and nuts and all that. Right? If you just eat that in moderation, portion control, you're going to be in great shape. And I'm a testament to that. So I'm just pulling that out. So I've got my avocado peeled. Voila. Okay. I've got my shrimp in the oven. I've got a lime here. I'm going to squeeze that over once the shrimp is done. I've got my tomatoes. So with these tomatoes, instead of sauteing them, I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil, a little salt and pepper, my pepper mill, bada bing. Okay. I'm going to add some salt and then some fresh cilantro and my ginger, which I'm going to add the ginger to that. Okay, and a little bit of maybe the sriracha. Here's the dab. That's it. And that'll be part of my topping. I'm going to pull my shrimp out because it's been about 5 minutes. Here's the shrimp. See that? Beautiful, huh? Now, tasting that, taking my fresh lime juice, popping that over. Okay, that's going to be a topping. That's done, going off to the side. So, as the song goes by Bon Jovi, we're halfway there, living on a prayer. So we're halfway there on our dish. Got this farro still cooking, and I mean, it's good, okay? But for our purposes, I'm probably going to serve it a lot quicker. Let me get my cilantro over here. Here's my fresh cilantro. I'm going to rough chop that. And what I'm going to do, I'm also going to add my chimichurri to those tomatoes. This sucker is so universal, man. It adds so much flavor and health into your dishes because it's all fresh herbs and olive oil and beautiful acid from vinegar and lime juice. So I'm going to add that to my tomatoes. Okay, and a little soy. That gives you a little bit of umami. Okay. Not on its own, but the umami comes from the chimichurri and the soy mix. Okay. Look at that. I'm going to add some fresh cilantro to that. So I grew up, you know, all Italian food, right? Which I love to cook. But, you know, you grow and you advance and you broaden your horizons. And I love all cuisines, Indian, Japanese, Italian. They all borrow from each other. The ravioli from Italy is the dumpling from, you know, Chinatown. Okay? Nothing new under the sun. Different flavor profiles, right? And there's some really good flavor profiles that kind of marry well together, which is what I'm doing right now. Some Spanish, some Asian. I don't think there's any Italian here other than the garlic, but okay. Here's my farro. So that's on. Turn that baby up. That's about almost cooked. I'm gonna turn this. Turn that up. Okay. Here's my cilantro from the tomatoes. Okay. Now, I'm going to build this dish. Show you how to build it. Okay. Here's a bowl. Here's some green leaf lettuce. Here's some wild arugula. Okay. Nothing fancy here, right? I've got my little squeeze bottle of olive oil. 1, 2, 3. Nothing crazy. I want to keep that Asian theme. So I take my rice wine vinegar. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I want to add a little bit of additional flavoring. So I'm going to add my dipping sauce, which is like basically a sesame base. Not a lot, just a little bit. Okay? Because it's all about flavoring. And when you're cooking, you want to layer flavors. You want to always add seasoning to every component that you're adding to the dish. Okay, that's it. So, oh, then I need a little bit of a little more vinegar. Just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to toss that by hand. I do need a little salt, which I don't know where that is, but I'm going to put a little salt on that once I find it. I'm going to use some of this. This is my bagel seasoning. Got some salt in it, but you know what? It's not about perfection. It's about improvising what you like. Now I have my greens already dressed. Okay, that's called a quick salad dressing. You can always make a salad dressing by adding oil, vinegar, salt and pepper, whatever else, you know, onions or garlic, whatever, and then that's it. You got a dressing without mixing it and shaking it. That's going to go off to the side. All right. Farro's done. Shut that baby off. Now we're going to build our bowl. Coming back. All right. I would typically let this rest a little bit, right? So I'm going to put my farro on the bottom of my dish. Okay? But I would typically let that sit a little bit. Let it become not so hot, but more almost room temperature, maybe a little hotter, okay? That's my base, okay? So I take my lettuces here. I just mixed. That goes on top. Okay. Push this side here. So I take my beautiful marinated tomatoes. That goes here. Okay. See that? Avocado slices. I'm going to just slice them. Now, I'm not shy with my avocados because even though they're heavy on the calories and fat, it's a good fat, good for your belly. Okay. Bada bing. And then my beautiful tuna. Let me show you this. See when I cut that in half? Look at that. That's what you want. Okay. I'm going to do a few slices there. Okay. And then my shrimp. Get that? Be back in a minute. Okay. So I've got my shrimp, my tomatoes, my tuna. Now, typically we have a crunchy component here, like cucumber or radish, but in this case, my crunchy components could be that beautiful Marjorie coleslaw, which is going to go right in the middle. Okay, puff that all up. That's a beautiful thing right there. All right, bring this up. Okay, and I've got my, I said save your green tops for later. I'm going to slice those babies up. That's going on top all around. Some more fresh cilantro. Okay. And then I want to show you something else to add more health and nutrition and just more crunch. Old school. This is called the salad shooter. Remember Ron Popeil? The guy that came up with the infomercials for the pocket fisherman and all those other commercials for these crazy gadgets. Well, I think he invented this back in the 80s. Well, one of the best things he's invented. It's really good at shredding carrots. Let me show you. You can still get this, baby, on Amazon, which is what we did. So I'm going to put the carrot in there, turn this sucker on. Get 2 carrots. Look at that. Put that baby off. All right. Ron Popeil, the salad shooter from Presto. Okay, now that's off to the side. I'll probably season it up with a little bit of ginger and some more olive oil and some more cilantro. Okay, now I'm going to show you this beauty. I added a little bit more shrimp to the top, but look at that, huh? Now you could eat 5 bowls of this and never gain a pound. This goes to every important part of your body. It feeds your soul. It feeds your body. It feeds your mind. Everything is natural. And you saw how I made it. Now, I'm going to top it with my beautiful dressing. So I'm going to come back around again. Remember this. The sriracha dressing. Okay. Mayonnaise. Put as much as you want on.
No.
And there's my from a pedicure and manicure and all the other cures. And then there we have it. We have a beautiful sushi bowl with farro and carrots and cilantro and Margie's coleslaw. And
nice.
This is the result of 2 hours of being pampered and pedicured by herself, without me.
Yay.
So bon appetit. And if you have any questions, just, I guess, email me or text me.
Put
or
them on Facebook.
Put them on Facebook. But, you know, this is a love of mine, a passion of mine to cook and to share the experience with you and to teach you something. A lot of cooking shows out there. I don't know if anybody's doing this, but here you go. Bon appetit. Happy, what's today?
Tuesday?
Happy Tuesday. Every day's Saturday here.
Happy quarantine. God bless you. We'll see you next time. And Marge's going to shut it down.